Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Thursday, the 21st of December. Well, let me get straight into this. The last video, very disappointing results. Let's move on from that. So, what I've had is two 5p each way lucky 63s. I've had the same horses, but what I've done is I've gone for one of the bets where I've left all the selections to SP, and then the other bet I've taken all the prices, and I'm going to talk you through it. So, obviously, the first each way lucky 63, which is basically both of them, is Arthalot in the 125 at Exeter, paying 6 places instead of 4. This horse can be given a chance on its Exeter form from last year. So far this year, you can actually give it half a chance. So this is from memory. Its last run, it's unseated rider at the third, so you can put a line through that. You can't really discount it because it was too early. The race before that, it was prominent over 2 mile. I believe it's at Exeter. Basically, I think it was just a prep race, like a fitness test. It weakened, which it was always going to weaken over 2 miles because the horse was going too quick over too short a distance. The previous race, I think it ran at Bath on the flat over a distance just short of its of that actual Exeter race. I think it was 2 mile at Exeter over the jumps, and I think it was something like 1 mile 5 furlong at Bath. For me, any horse that runs over 1 mile 5 to 2 mile on the flat, well, much further than 2 mile over hurdles, which it ran over when it was prominent. So you can put a line through the most two recent hurdle runs. The third run at Bath shows it's in okay form. Then if you go back to last year's form over jumps, it actually ran a good race at Exeter. So that gives you a bit of course form. Also, I can't remember her name now. Let's see if it tells you. Miss Heidi Stevens has ridden this horse before, and she lost by, I believe it was either a short head or a neck over this course. It could even be course and distance. So I think possibly they could be lining this up. Well, at the moment, in the other bet, I've actually taken, I think it's 20s or 25 to 1. I think, with the price just before the off, I think it could go much bigger than that. But we'll see. So I've left it to SP, but I've also taken 20 to 1 as well, I think it is. So the second selection is Davidoc in the 325 at Exeter. So this horse is one of the very few with a little bit of form. It travelled quite well last time, and I think it could outdo the favourite because it's got hurdle form, whereas the favourite only has half decent National Hunt Flat form to its name. So it could outclass our selection, but I think the recent run over hurdles will give it a bit of confidence. It travelled actually very well in that race. I think it just got a bit outpaced towards the finish. But I do think it's got a realistic chance of winning unless it's a decent horse in the race or half decent horse in the race. The next selection is Flash Gorkum in the 355 at Exeter, paying 4 places instead of 3. This was around about 11 to 2, and I think the price was probably right. But I've left it to SP in this bet. So basically, I just think it's got a good chance on form, and that is it. So, I think it's got a good chance of winning. It's 11 to 2, or at least definitely running a good race. I think it's going to be hard to kick out the first 4, and I think, personally, it wants this stiff track. The next selection is Unavailable in the 5 o'clock at Chelmsford, paying 4 places instead of 3. It's a very poor race, this is, and this horse's last run wasn't as bad as it looks. I think it was only beaten about 5 lengths, and for me, a horse that's priced up about 25 to 1, where there are some of the more fancied horses that have got headgear for the first time. That's not always beneficial. It might make them run keen, and there's either one or two of them, definitely one of them, that has got an outside draw with first time. I think it's first time headgear. Well, that automatically puts it a couple of squiggles for me, as in it's got a chance of not running a race. So I think Unavailable from I think it's somewhere like 4-5, drawn 4, 5 or 6, middle berth, prominent racer, and I think it's got a decent chance. The next selection is Say You'll Never in the 5:30 at Chelmsford. This horse is tied very closely based on Racing Post ratings with the 3 fancied horses. I do believe one of the 3 actually won, and it's got a £7 penalty now. And I think it only achieved a Racing Post rating of about 70. But with the £7 penalty, it still puts that horse on a par with our horse. But the other horse is a shorter price. The favourite and the second favourite also have only achieved, I believe it's something to be like 68 or 65 on the Racing Post ratings, while ours has achieved a 63. There's nothing in the ratings. And I'm a big fan of Marco Gianni, on the all-weather in general, but at Chelmsford. And I think it's got a decent chance. And one of the most interesting horses is the last one. So I backed this one last time. And how it got a place, I've no idea. Or how it hung on for a place, I've no idea. So the selection is Maverick Style in the 6:30 at Chelmsford, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse ran over a mile last time. And they were very well spread out. And this horse was helping to force the pace. It then turned into the straight. I thought, we're laughing here. And then it hung ridiculous. Well, I wonder what had happened to start off here. Because the jockey just stopped riding. I thought, what's going on? I actually thought it was going to pull it up. So it was miles clear. Then it just about hung on for 4th place. Well, comfortably hung on for 4th place. I think it by about another length. Well, it didn't ride it in the final 2 furlong. So they've dropped it back a furlong this time round. I'm not quite sure. And I think they've put cheek pieces on it this time. I might be wrong. I'm sure they've put some kind of headgear on it. So I think if this horse can be in the first 2, similar kind of race as last time, helping to force the pace, this horse has got loads of speed. So I thought it was going to fold, especially when it hung really badly. But it didn't. It kept on. But the jockey just basically held his head on one side. Held the horse's head on one side, should I say. And it was just trying to steer it. So, and the fact that it hung on for 4th place, I was like gobsmacked. So this horse, in similar kind of class, I think has got a decent chance. It's roughly about 13-2. But as I said, I've taken these prices in the bet up: 20s, 7-2, 11-2, 25s, 13-2, and 15-2 Maverick Style. So I think this horse has got every chance. So those are the selections. If you like what I have to say about it, or you completely disagree, leave a comment. Or you fancy something else, leave me a comment. Or if you fancy your own Lucky 15, Lucky 31, or Lucky 63, like Selin O'Brien does, leave it in the comments. Or subscribe. Anyway, I'm off now. So, the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.